So we're hunting our first weekend in Ohio. We've been up there. We had a morning and evening hunt already. Got up the next morning with high expectations. We had got a good deer on camera. Really hadn't seen anything worthy of shooting. Seen some deer off in the distance, nothing close. We got up that second morning to hunt. We had real high expectations of hoping of seeing a good deer before we left. We were planning to leave around lunchtime and head home back to North Carolina. So we were hoping to get some good footage before we left. Hopefully get a good glimpse of a good buck. Maybe have them on camera and know there's deer in the area besides just what on trail camera showing up at night in the middle of the day. So we get in there that second morning. I'm by myself filming. We'd taken a different approach that morning. I'd actually had my brother drive me to my stand on the four-wheeler. Rather than walking in, we'd bumped some deer the morning before. We'd hoped that him driving me to the stand that morning would throw off any cautions or dangers to the deer that are in the area. With him leaving, the threat of anyone being there would also be gone. So he drove me to the stand that morning. I stepped straight from the back of the four-wheeler onto the steps and up the tree. I was in the tree within 5 minutes, set up, camera ready to go, 30 minutes before daylight. He had no longer got out of hearing distance, and I had a deer get up within 15 yards of my tree. And with the moon glow that morning, the deer come out 10 or 15 yards in front of me in the brush field that I was overlooking. I was able to pull up binoculars, and the first thing I saw was that middle beam coming off the inside, so I knew it was the deer we had on camera, the deer we'd been waiting to see. And here he was out before daylight, and I'm filming by myself. So I hang on, the deer's there. It comes to about 7:15. I'm getting some good camera light, starting to see. I start to make my move to grab my bow, and the camera cuts off. Tape winds, buck looks straight at the tree I'm in, and I'm in a dilemma there whether to cut the camera back on or not. And this being the largest buck that possibly I could ever harvest or ever harvested, I decided I couldn't risk the chance of cutting the camera back on. So wasn't able to get the kill shot, but I made a good clean hit at 50 yards. I shot the deer around 7:20. I waited till probably 10 till 8 to get down out of my stand. I exited away from where the deer had ran. Got back to camp, told my brother what we had. We waited till about 10:30 to start tracking. We get back to where I'd shot. Wasn't able to find any blood, no arrow, and my heart just sank. So I knew the vicinity where the deer had gone and thought I'd picked him up in the brush. So I started heading that way where I last thought I saw the animal. We get through going through thick brush, nothing. Finally come out into the open. The first thing I come across is a blood trail. I can look both ways and see it. My heart just sank, and I just sat down. So I knew I made a good clean hit, and the animal wasn't going to be far. And we backtracked to where I'd shot, and within 15 yards of where I shot, I found my arrow. It was a through and through, clean pass through, covered. From there, it went for another 2.5 hours tracking blood till finally got down to specks, and luckily we were able to come across the animal and harvest him. And I was so excited and pumped. It's the largest deer I've harvested with a bow. Hopefully not the biggest forever, but it's the biggest for now. And you'll see the footage from here on out. Wasn't able to get the kill shot on video. I was kind of by myself this morning. He come in way before daylight and hung around, kind of handcuffed me on being able to get him on footage, but made a good shot. Here's the arrow. We tracked him out a little piece and got good blood, so we're going to finish tracking him, see if we can recover him. You can see we're picking up some pretty good signs. Okay.
Right here's where you seen him at.
That's what we come up here for. Hopefully this ain't the last one we get this year, but pretty good way to start off the year, I think. So proud of him, tracked him a long ways.
Had some help for a friend tracking him. Glad we can get in here and get this animal. Now the hard part starts. But he's going back to North Carolina.